That was during a training when we learned how to administer Narcan for people who overdose. So this was real, that they thought that someone who was a drug addict, it was the cause of their drug addiction was them being homeless instead of it being, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was always their sense that it was not a problem. This is what these people do to help them get by. Because could you imagine if you were sleeping on the street at night, you would have to do drugs.
It was like a symptom, not a cause.
Right. So that's what they would.
But then isn't the idea then if you put them into a house, then they should give up drugs?
Exactly. So that's where I was getting, I just didn't understand. I just understand how you're telling me if we do this, and now I'm seeing it firsthand that I personally housed at least 50 people. So I've personally seen it, and it does not occur where they are now working or now they're a functioning member of society. I haven't seen really a success story of like people getting out there afterwards. Maybe some people figured out their lives a little better, but it was always like a 9-month rental stay and then on to the next provider or back to PATH for 6 months of service instead of 9 months, because we would do that for a lot of people too. So
would you see a lot of the people you helped back on the street? Like, would you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of people back on the street, and it was always with the same problem. And it was always back in the same neighborhoods. We were outreaching to them in that same vicinity where we first found them, right? These people need drugs so bad that they're willing to be in a block with 20 other people knowing that, guy down the street has the stuff every Thursday or whatever it may be, right? And I've heard stories like this, like I can't come this Thursday to the appointment because so-and-so is the only time he can sell. And it's like, and I, as a homeless service provider, I couldn't say anything about that. I just say, okay, I'll try and find a new time for us to meet your landlord, right? So like, I'm trying to make the point of even these organizations, we would hear these stories and I would be paid to hear these stories and be like, okay, yeah, go do your drug and I'll continue to help find housing and, help try and build PATH's brand. Housing first is maintenance. It's a way for funding to increase to allow investors to come in and put more money to just build these huge things that are just going to house homeless people and just see what happens.